I'm gonna fucking set this t-shirt on fire, honestly. This one. It's getting fucking burnt. It's getting burnt.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 48 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. My God, this has nearly been a year of episodes. That's crazy. I'm Dan, lifelong Lucha Libre obsessive, Bandido apologist, and patiently counting down to the inevitable Elon versus Trump death match in a cage where the loser gets launched into space.
Excellent. I am Lucy, lifelong Brandon Cutler fan and Session Moth Martina simp. It has been an excellent week for me. That's it. That's all I've got to say.
That's
I'm
all?
just
All
happy.
right. We're
Just happy to be here.
We're expecting more. I am the resident American here, Brett, aka that ball bro from New York City, and wow, I don't know about you guys. I'm still trying to wake up from 4 hours of Fyter Fest last night, and Tony, we love you, but 4 hours plus an overrun, you freaking
It's the
madman.
sickest thing you could
Oh,
do.
boo-hoo, bloody Americans. We're 5 hours ahead. We are Tony Khan's strongest soldiers. Andy's barely holding it together.
I am gonna read a few tweets. The entire mess just makes me hate TK more than ever. I wish AEW had good leadership. It's winner takes all, not unification. Kenny will win and drop the Continental to a young guy, either Fletcher, Garcia or Takeshita before the CC. He's not giving AEW a tournament run after how TK has treated the elite over Punk, nor should he. The two bookers who care most about women's wrestling in North America, Shawn Michaels, a drunk druggy party boy turned Bible thumper, and Scott D'Amore, a construction guy. Nobody wants to see Sammy G ahead of Willow or Stat beside Sammy G. People need to start requesting releases publicly. Who knows who would even want to leave? Aminata probably. WWE could sign her. No chance they main event tonight. I think AEW would be better off if they dropped women's wrestling altogether. Better no women's wrestling than to half-arse it. Crap booking. TK doesn't care about women's wrestling. He stinks. Women should start requesting their releases. Fuck TK. Fuck TK, seriously, that's a separate tweet. I hate TK, that's another separate one. She's just there to lose. I guess Jamie must be MIA. I hate TK, that's another separate tweet, not a continuation. Fuck off, TK doesn't care about women's wrestling. No Aminata match. She's obviously unhappy like most women in this company are. Looks like a lot of women are very unhappy there. I hate him so fucking much. And people wonder why we hate TK. Oh, we? Okay. It's hard to blame people for leaving. I hate TK. Yes, TK sucks and is stupid in many different ways, but you couldn't have been booked better than Mariah was. That's actually a fair point. Maki Ito would make more money for AEW with one t-shirt than Mariah May ever could, but Tony is stupid. Now that's just a selection. That's not all of them.
Let's not pit women against each other, thank you very fucking much. Maki Ito and Mariah are both good.
I didn't have the time to sit and go through all of these tweets, but that is one guy in the last 24 hours, and that's only probably about, I'd say, 10 to 15% of his tweets, maybe less actually. Anyway, I'm Andy.
Hello,
Well,
Andy.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
Andy.
I have plenty to say about the lack of women's wrestling on it, but Jesus Christ, he's not booking enough women's matches. Let's get rid altogether.
He just hates this fella.
Hell.
This fella on a fucking daily basis seems to wake up
Biscuit
and tweet
wank.
how much he hates Tony Khan. He fucking hates my hate Tony. Like, fuck off. Yeah, wasn't enough women's wrestling last night. There isn't a lot of the time. Like most weeks there isn't. But it's been improving. It's been improving.
Yeah, like, next week they've got three. They've got three matches next week so
there
far.
isn't enough.
There could be more.
Yeah, there isn't enough. That's absolutely
I agree.
100% true. And I will give him shit for that. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean,
Stay inside, touch ass,
What
whatever it
of
is
it-
that makes you feel better.
I was going to
One of
say,
his others,
take up a
the-
hobby, get off Twitter and just go and like do pottery or something. Just chill.
Knitting, tiddlywinks.
One of his other
Yeah.
ones that I didn't want to read out because it made me feel physically sick. It was disgusting. Was that he suggested that the Outrunners should not be on TV. so they can
Oh, that
fit
is
another.
sick,
Like,
eh?
I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck who you are. If that's the kind of depravity you're singing to, you're up there with Fred and Rose West for me. That's fucking sick. Not wanting the albums on TV. What the fuck is this?
Fred and Ross.
All right, hold up. You gotta
Remember when he
hold
compared
up.
Swerve to Jimmy Savile?
Hold up, Andy. You gotta explain that reference that you just made.
Fred
right
and
there.
Rose West.
Rosewest, yeah.
Yes.
They were
Serial
Fred
killers,
West.
Brett.
Fred West was a builder. He was fantastic
He was
walls
very,
and stuff
very
like
good
that.
at patios. Very good at patios.
He just like and for insulation purposes, he would put like dead young girls that he killed in there, just to keep you warm, more than anything. But yeah,
I
We
kind
are
of
never
regret
getting
asking.
monetized, and it's 99% Andy's fault.
there's a documentary on Netflix actually now.
Yeah.
It's probably better than some of the other shite that's on Netflix. Yeah, it's great. It's actually very grim. All but jokes aside, like it's not really very.
It's not grim. It's not pleasant
it's-
watching with the family. Like, not
it's-
family-friendly entertainment.
It's disgusting. Almost as bad as them tweets. But yeah, anyone who suggests the Outrunners shouldn't be on TV, I'm sorry, that's that's an absolutely disgustingly sick individual.
I think if going back to the Outrunners, I think one of the at Fyter Fest as a whole, should we say, like the first 2 hours were like obviously sublime, and yeah, the second half of it, obviously it was the collision half of it, if you like. Yeah, when I guess you could say like not as much happened in terms of like story, like storyline progression and so on, but that trios match that with the Don Callis family and Bandito and the Outrunners was fucking mental.
The Outrunners,
Yeah, what?
the Outrunners on.
Oh, they were Los Outrunners.
Oh, I've seen them. I
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
the
come
Outrunners,
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
no.
yeah.
Two
mean-
It was
really.
similar to the
I've,
Outrunners.
I've never seen them together at the same time at the same place. So
They were similar in how tanned and vascular they were, but they wore masks, so we can't be certain it is actually the Outrunners.
it's going to be hard to prove.
I would suspect Truth and Turbo was sat at home like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme from whatever film it was, pointing at the TV, going, "Oh my God, it's fucking what the fuck." So I do not think they are, and much like we got to have a pay-per-view at some point that is just some of these dream matches we have, and matches straight away. You could have the Outrunners against Los Outrunners, and John Cruz against the Pensacola. There would be some fantastic matches.
And you could have FTR against what was their name? What was
Oh,
the
Soberanas.
Souveranas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever Copeland comes back, if he does team with Christian Cage, you get those two versus what were their names? Oh my God, Uno and Dos.
Back-
Oh
Los
yeah, Los
Conquistadors.
Los
Conquistadors. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I mean,
And Brian Danielson against Oh Christ, what was it?
Was it Infinito?
Infinito. Yeah. That was it.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, maybe
It's a shame. It's a shame that the other fuckers, Fuego 1 and 2, are dead now. Well, one's retired and one's dead. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well.
Fuego one's murderer wandering around in the Indies getting booked. Disgraceful. What people will allow.
horrendous.
Crime pays in the world of professional wrestling. I mean,
Fucking
does.
$50, does it?
The thing that won't happen though, and Lucha Blog can attest to this, is that we won't get Mystico versus Dralistico versus Saristico versus El Mystico and all other kind of isticos. It's not going to happen, unfortunately.
yeah.
I did love how big they made Mystico feel on
Yeah,
last night's show,
it was.
and they should have done that originally, like when they first brought him on. Like they should make him feel like a huge fucking deal.
This is what I said in the chat like the other day when maybe this morning, was like how chuffed CMLL must feel like after like that presentation, because their biggest star, who's been like the biggest star in Lucha Libre for the last like 10, 15 years or maybe more, like that, and the amount of talent who was showcased in such like big matches on Fyter Fest, and also like in meaningful ways, like Mascara Dorada, who we've talked
So
about
good.
a lot. He's incredible, like genuinely like awe-inspiring in the ring. He was out there like putting on a blinder in that 4-way match. And Hechicero as like a surprise member of the Don Callis family, which it popped me big time because, like you said, like I was
I'm
really
so
scared that they were going to go down the WWE route with like the Grande
when-
Americano.
When
It was
Callis was
Trent.
introduced, it was
Yeah.
when Callis was introducing him. I was really expecting Trent.
was
and
like,
Mask. I was
oh,
like, no,
no.
please don't do this.
No, in all seriousness, though,
yeah.
like that whole like Commander. I know he's not with CMLL, but he,
so
again,
fucking good,
he's just really come into his own, like in the last
some of the
last
shit
year
he's
or
doing.
so.
Do you think with what Commander's doing right now? Do you think that over in WWE that Dragon Lee looks at what Commander's doing and thinks to himself like, that should be my spot, that could be me, literally?
I think as fans we probably look at that, but in reality, I don't know. I think a lot of these guys probably just look at the fact that they're getting paid and they're not really asked too much. I mean, like I do. Like you'd like to think they think like, but it's a job to them, isn't it? So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends. It depends how comfortable he is in life. Ricochet was lucky enough to be in a position where he could feel like that and feel like this is brain dead. It's killing me inside. I need to go and do something, but exciting.
Meaningful. No.
For some people as well.
No, I was just saying, and like look at Ricochet now.
Yeah, for some people, WWE is where they want to be, no matter what they're doing there. Most recently, Mariah May. Yeah.
Who's that?
No, I thought it
girl.
was
Come
Jenny
on.
January now.
No,
Like,
she's
No, guys, be serious. It's Fiona February, okay?
okay,
it's
so
Fiona February.
so
But-
not Olivia October.
It'll be Mariah something. They'll do a Ricky Saints, won't they? I seen a great tweet from one of them fake. Did you see the tweet from? I think it was WrestleOops.
WrestleOops, my new favorite account on Twitter. Them and the guy who's just discovered New Japan for the first time. He's my favorite. Like
He's
both of them
amazing.
are like my favorite things about Twitter right now. But go on, what were you saying?
Oh,
Yeah, like,
WrestleOops saying that they've revealed that she's going to be called Mariah Saints, and she's going to be Ricky Saints' sibling.
yeah, bloody hell. I sent that to a friend of mine, and he won't mind me saying this, but he didn't notice. He thought it was the actual like WrestleOps account, and he actually said to me, "Wait, you got to be joking me." I was like, I am.
For a split second, I was the same. It was like when I seen that deep fake of Trump talking about how he's going to unleash velociraptors on the borders. It was one of them ones where I looked at it and I was like,
Convincing, isn't it?
it could be real. Like it
It's
sounds
something
not
that he
real,
would say.
From now on, any tweets about potential dinosaurs, let me know, okay? I'm in real life, I am a geneticist. I can tell you in great, boring detail why Jurassic Park cannot happen. So from now on, Andy, check in before you go off on a raptor hunt.
Why you gotta kill dreams for? Huh? Like, why can't we just?
I can do
why
you,
can't you
I
just
can do you
go
a
crazy
woolly
for our
mammoth.
imagination? I mean, yeah, no, I
Do you
mean,
a saber-toothed tiger?
I'm just waiting for that for the big dinosaur to be back, the main man. I want him to come back to
Luchasaurus.
Yeah,
He was
we need him back.
backstage. He was backstage at Double or Nothing, and he's ready to come back.
I think they've just been waiting for the right time because Christian, didn't you see he said in the promo with Nick Wayne, he said like Kip's preparing a surprise. They didn't actually unveil anything, but I think that's a slow burn. That's going to happen at some point. But I reckon Kill Switch is in there somewhere.
I think the payoff is not gonna be for All In. I think it's gonna be for All Out in
Probably,
in Toronto
yeah.
because listen,
It's way too soon to
yeah,
turn Christian
and plus
babyface now.
Nick Wayne just came back from the Best of the Super Juniors in New Japan, so yeah, there's no rush for it right now. I think the All In card, we have 3 confirmed matches as of right now, and maybe
that's enough in its own, isn't it? Them 3 matches alone, it's insane.
and you know what?
Yeah,
Perfect
that's the selling
segue.
point.
And you know what? Perfect segue to the match that was announced last night. The 3rd match that is confirmed on first time on American soil. On American fucking soil. I will be there live at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. The Best Bout Machine, Kenny Bogard Omega versus the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada.
It's fucking incredible.
Oh my fuck! Like,
Fucking hell.
like,
Minute, lads.
can I hit fast forward for like the next 5-6 weeks? I know we got to build story for a whole bunch of other matches, but can I be in fucking Texas already? Can it be in July 12th already? Can I be in my seat with my beer and all my fucking junk food to just watch maybe the greatest rivalry in wrestling history live and in person? Like, oh my fucking word! I cannot.
You
can't
can do
fucking
that.
wait.
You can do that if when you do press fast forward and you're sat there with your beer, you're just coming off the back of the Outrunners, picking up them tag titles off the Hurt Syndicate, leaving them a mess on the floor. Yeah,
After the
You're
greatest
welcome.
karaoke performance in history on the Thursday.
Oh yes,
mean,
I wish I could fucking get. I wish I could fly with more for that than the actual fucking pay-per-view.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
And-
Considering there's no at the moment there's no Sweet Chin Disco after Forbidden Door. Like, I mean, I might have to look at plane tickets to go to the karaoke night.
Let's all go.
I've got a go-to banger in my head. I've got about 40 of them actually.
What's
but,
your karaoke?
yeah.
Go on then. What is your go-to karaoke?
My go-to karaoke song is probably Something by Limp Bizkit, which will get all the wrestling fans pumped up. But yeah, a lot of the other ones you probably wouldn't know, and it will probably make you run away rather than actually like stick around. But yeah, Limp Bizkit is a safe bet because most people know who they are. But
we need a
then
sponsorship
again,
deal. Fly us out. I will shill for literally anyone for pennies.
can't wait, man.
oh, it's gonna be great.
I'm jealous. I'm not even happy for you.
The show last night was actually, I really enjoyed it. I think 4 hours, not every week, but as a one-off, it was good. I couldn't stay, obviously being in over here, I couldn't stay awake for the entire thing. I was already fucked. I haven't seen Bruce Springsteen, but first 2 hours, great, and then yeah, I watched the following two this morning, and no, there's some incredible matches. It was a solid show with a lot of story building, some good matches. Not enough women's time, but like, when do we have a week when I don't think that's the case? So, it is what it is.
We did get the return of Carmelo, which to me just screams tag titles. That she came back to save Anna.
Yeah,
Of course, it has to. It has to. I don't know whether we'll get them for All In, or maybe we'll get them announced at All In, because it feels like it's a big stage. That's
6
where
weeks
you do,
though.
wouldn't it? Yeah, yeah.
I think we get a
I
mini
feel like we would
tournament
have-
in 6 weeks easily.
yeah.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's true. But I'm thinking because they've got like this. Obviously, they've had Fyter Fest this week. Next week they've got Summer Blockbuster, where they've got some matches announced for it already. So you could announce it then. But then after that, there's Grand Slam Mexico, which, again, not to be disrespectful, I don't know whether that would be the best place to announce it. Then a couple of other like standalone episodes. Then it's the 300th episode of Dynamite, the 100th episode of Collision, and then you're basically more or less in the run up to All In. And then if you do it any later than that, you're cutting it a bit fine.
It depends how many teams you go for. If he goes for 8, then they need to announce it like next week.
Yeah.
If he's only going to go for 4 teams, which they could do, as an initial run, because I mean 8's a stretch anyway, really. Especially if you'd be using your singles wrestlers at the same time. I think if he goes for 4 teams initially, that's easily doable.
Go for it.
You need fucking
He's
2
already
weeks.
started. He's already got the first match with TJ and Penelope and Megan.
Yeah, there's them, and then there's also like, I mean, in my head, I think it would have been perfect to capitalize on a lot of the other women's talent, like across like the promotions that they have partnerships with, like in CMLL, for example, like in Stardom, in Ring of Honor, in fucking Rev Pro. Get fucking the Cutthroat Collective in the fucking women's tag title tournament. Lizzie Evo in that tournament with Nina Samuels. Yeah, sign me up, brother. Sign me up.
No,
but
that'll be
yeah,
class.
it is. It
Lana
is
Austin
probably
and Holly Barlow. If I can choose a British tag team to get in there.
No. I tell you who I'd pick is Emerson, Jane, and Riho. Big beefy bitches. I'd throw them in the tournament. Fuck it, why not?
Call them the Triple B. Call them the Triple B.
Yeah.
I'm Don Emerson Jane. I'm more excited at the prospect of a mixed tag with Drew Parker that he suggested on his Instagram, which is cool as fuck.
100%.
Well, if you're going to integrate other promotions, then would you maybe consider doing that up until the lead-in for Forbidden Door? Then if you're going to get CMLL
100%.
and
100%.
yeah.
Pro
Actually, no, that's
involved
better.
as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the plan, if they were to get other promotions involved,
Yeah,
the-
100%. I'd love it.
The only reason I wouldn't do that is because at the moment, like unless something transpires with the storyline over the next week or two, it's going to be looking like there's only going to be one women's title on the show, because obviously Mercedes has 2, and I feel like you need another one. Obviously you don't need a title in every match, but I feel like just having one women's title defender on the show.
You don't. If you have some sort of announcement for the tag, and you have even like a qualifier or something, or a battle or whatever it is.
It's all in.
Being all in, you'd want it to. Yeah, I mean, they don't even need it. I don't know. Did they need a tournament? I suppose they do. You can't just have a two teams and
You're
an
not
inaugural winner.
They're not going to do what they did when they brought the WCW belt back and just give it to Triple H. No, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'd hate that.
I don't think Triple H would want the AEW Women's Tag Team titles.
I think he fucking would.
He would.
Yeah,
Anything to give him the centre of attention, he'd love it.
Stick a W on them. There we go. Job done.
I want to challenge
now.
what you said, Andy, because I think there will be a second women's title on the show, and I think it'll be Athena. I think she'll defend the Ring of Honor women's title.
That's a good shout, actually.
All In, because she's from Texas, and I think it would be criminal to not have her on the show in some degree.
It's funny the way things have transpired actually over the last couple of months now with a certain with a person leaving. Do you think that it was initially, because it did feel to a lot of people and everyone mentioned that it looked like it was going to be Athena Mercedes? Do you feel like they did decide to go in a different direction because it was made very clear that she was gone, and there was that instead of that maybe they really would have liked to have run another Mariah Tony match, like one final one, but when she made it clear she was done, then maybe they said, you know what, let's just make the biggest match we can make.
Maybe, but I mean, we'll never know for sure. We'll never know really. But I think the Athena Mercedes feud was really heating up, and then when they had the match in the Owen, because of how Mercedes won, it felt like, okay, well, there's definitely a rematch sort of down the line. But it's like you said, it's like we talked about. It is the biggest women's match you could possibly do, the two biggest names in the division. So, and it is the biggest US show that they've ever done. So to me, from a business sense, we talked about that a bit. Like from a business sense, this one makes more sense. But from a fantasy booking fan's perspective, I think I would have done the Athena Mercedes rematch here personally. But I'm still looking forward to it because I think it's Toni Storm. She can make magic with anybody, and Mercedes is the best women's wrestler in the world. So it's one of them. I don't know what else they could have done. I don't know whether a Mariah Toni match had she been staying would have done as good, would have drawn as much intrigue here. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I don't know how you can follow the Hollywood ending, but
I don't think it would have. But I felt like maybe there was still one more bit of story left in there, which may happen depending on how things transpire over in the other place.
I think we talked about this on a past episode about whether Mercedes does go into All In with the TBS title or not. And if I'm correct, I want to say I think it's July 2nd and July 3rd is the 300th episode of Dynamite. If I'm correct, I mean, you think about a big marquee match for 300. Well, go back last year for the 250th episode. 250th episode. Remember last year, Will Ospreay and MJF for the international title. Literally a few seconds below an hour. Think about it. Episode 300, main event. Mercedes Athena 2 for the TBS title right there. But I can see the pro and the con in doing that match. The pro is obviously we get the rematch. Athena could win the title and she could go on to defend the TBS title at All In. So you have your other women's title defended on the card. But here's the con. Really 2 weeks before All In, do you really want Mercedes to lose her first match?
Yeah.
Before the build of the match of her and Toni Storm as the biggest women's match you could put in your entire promotion. That's why I'm saying personally I want the rematch between Mercedes and Athena, and I want Athena to win and take the TBS title off her, because like I said, they're gonna put that mindset in Mercedes that, damn, I'm losing my titles. This is the second title I've lost in 2 months. I'm losing my stranglehold on the women's wrestling, not just in AEW but in the entire world professional wrestling. Now think about it right now. Look at it last night. She's eating steak and drinking wine just on top of the world. But now if she steak. Well done, steak boss, CEO. What the fuck you doing?
Shite, man.
All right. And first off, I got fucking bullied last night on Twitter and all my other group chats because saying I'm a medium well guy. Like fucking Mark is you're sick. Everyone's a medium. Here's what I do it on purpose. I say medium well because they never get all the way to medium well. So it's always intentional. If it's undercooked, it's perfect. I don't want to say medium rare, then it's just rare.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Steak last night was fucking charcoal. Lucy Sky would have been made up with that one.
Yeah, I was like, nah, she's too good
No,
for that.
somewhere a
But
cow died for that, and I think Mercedes should go and apologise to its family.
I think
That was disgraceful behaviour.
CEOs don't
Mercedes.
worry. CEOs don't worry about dead cattle. All right, they too good for that.
Damn it. No, I will take her losing the TBS title, but if she's going to do that and that's the story you're going to go with, she also has to drop the Rev Pro title. She can't
Yes.
walk in with just the Rev Pro title
it's
and
a
act
tricky
like
one.
I've got nothing, because she does,
well-
and the Rev Pro's a big deal.
I don't know, because I'd like to see her lose everything and then have
That's
to
fine, I'll
go
take
again.
that. But
So I'd like to see one by one. The reason I'd like to see her lose the TBS base is because I feel like it would sow the seeds of doubt for a start. It would give us the TBS defense that would be great on that card. And it would, it could set in motion, because she should lose. For me, she should lose to Tony. It could set in motion that, the following months, she basically loses everything.
Yeah.
Well,
And
well
then
if
that's a far more interesting character, development for her and arc than her just, losing the title, but you still got the TBS and the Rev Pro title. Doesn't matter.
I'll leave this to you guys. So let's say everything goes perfectly. She loses the TBS title to Athena, 300th episode of Dynamite. She loses to Tony Storm, so she's only left with the Rev Pro title. Forbidden Door, August. I'll leave this to you, my experts of the UK indie wrestling scene. Who would be the one to take the Rev Pro title off of Mercedes at Forbidden Door?
Kanji.
pick me.
It's,
One at a
it's,
Alex
time.
Windsor.
Give
It's Alex
your best
Windsor.
choice.
it's probably got to be Alex Windsor.
It's Alex Windsor.
Alex
yeah, to be
Windsor is
honest.
the best independent wrestler in the world. Not best women's, best independent wrestler in the world. She's the best women's wrestler in the world. Mercedes is number 2.
You see, I would like to see her defend it against Lizzie Evo, to be honest. I would have said Kanji, but Kanji's already had a chance. And,
She's already had the
but,
chance,
Didn't do it.
It just
I'll give you
wouldn't-
Lizzie. I think Lizzie's one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world.
I think she is. I think she is the most underrated. I think it's going to be Alex Windsor, though, isn't it? I mean, that's
Gotta be.
the way it
Yeah,
feels like it's
Alex
going.
Windsor makes. Yeah, it's probably like the name I would go with if you asked me to like pick a realistic one. But from a pure fan's perspective, like Mercedes and Riho would fucking like smash. Like that would.
That would be
Or
incredible.
Mercedes
For Americans
versus
that
Emerson
don't
Jane.
know, he doesn't mean Riho, the
No,
AEW
not
wrestling.
Riho,
He
who
means
you
Rio.
know.
It's
Riho.
RHIO. She's
Yeah.
She's the British independent wrestler.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
you know,
the current
yeah.
she's the current Progress Wrestling Women's Champion, and she's incredible. I've seen her live 2 or 3 times, and we're gonna go see her in London tomorrow. Lucy and I are gonna go to see Eve.
And Alex Windsor.
Alex Windsor is also wrestling on the show. Yeah, we're really excited, actually. I may as well segue into that really quickly for like 2 minutes. But yeah, Riho is also tagging with Emerson Jane in as Big Beefy Bitches, the Triple B. They're going to be taking on. I should have the card in front
Emerson
of me.
Jane is incredible.
Yeah, also absolutely incredible.
I still can't get over her doing a flip over the top ropes
Yeah.
onto Drew Parker at the weekend with a fucking dart in her cheek.
Yeah,
That could have gone.
She's hard as nails.
So fucking
She's hard as nails, honestly. Yeah, them two are they're in a number 1 contendership match for the Eve tag team titles against Pretty Psycho, which is Amira Blair and Zoe Lucas, who Amira is probably the best the best manager of anybody, certainly on the independent scene. Like her and Michael Oku just have like this just incredible like presence. It's like Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. It's perfect. Like she's integral to his matches.
We could do a whole episode on
she-
the importance of managers for me.
Well, she's improved so
incredible.
much in the ring as well over the last 12 months. Like she's really kind of getting stuck into it, and I mean, fucking, at the end of the day, she's been over in fucking CMLL for God's sake with Zoe Lucas. So it's incredible to see the kind of progress she's made.
Yeah, it really is. I'm really excited for that one, and we've also got an 8-woman tag match. So it's we've got on one team we've got Nightshade, who's the current Eve Women's Champion, teaming
Absolutely
with
incredible. She's phenomenal.
incredible. Rain Leverkusen, who I'm not too familiar with,
She's
but I'm
brilliant.
looking
She's
forward to
excellent.
it. Session Moth, who we all know and love, Session Moth Martina, and
Well, still single Session Moth.
She's married.
She's only a little bit married.
She's married, but
they didn't kiss. It doesn't count.
It's a technicality.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that in a minute, because Amira was a bridesmaid there as well.
So was Emerson Jane, apparently.
Yeah, she was.
And Sky Smithson is also on the other side, one half of the Experience, who I'm big fans of.
TNT Tag Champs.
They are indeed, yeah. And then on the other side of that 8-woman tag, there's Alexis Falcon, who's awesome as well. Lucy Sky, who we've had on the podcast, and who really impressed me over the weekend at TNT.
She was robbed at the weekend.
She was absolutely. Oh, Lana Austin, you bad.
I know. After all that.
We'll have no slagging Lana Austin on this podcast. She's a national treasure.
I would never. I adore Lana. I live and breathe for Lana Austin, but my God, she was a naughty girl.
She's a national treasure.
I did not see that coming, though.
I fall for the cash-in every single time.
I hate cash-ins, but that was so well done.
Lana doesn't count. Lana can do what Lana wants to do.
Pretty much.
Simply the best.
She is.
Better than all the rest.
You know, Andy, you said multiple times that you hate cash-ins, but has there ever been a cash-in that you ever actually liked?
That one at the weekend, just because I didn't see it coming at all. I've never ever liked the cash-in ever. I think
even the Seth Rollins one where he ran down.
Not even the Seth Rollins one.
I wasn't watching wrestling.
Even I like that.
I fell off it then.
Oh.
I hate it. I just hate the idea of someone coming at the end and just being like, "Yeah, I love this." It's just so cheap, and I hate it. And when all the time Christian was walking around with that contract, I was just fucking dreading it every single time. That's why
it got very old after like the second or third time. It became very cliche.
Well, that's why I was praying for some kind of creative way out of it, where Jay White would have signed the contract, because I hate cash-ins. I think they're shit. They should be banned from wrestling for life.
It really did ruin. It really did ruin the end of Revolution, which was a great card from start to finish, and then that fucking cash in and how he lost it. Yeah, it really did. I mean, it was still a great show regardless, but it's like that's how you ended it. It was just a wet fart,
wasn't it, at the end, really?
Yeah.
It was nothing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go down that rabbit hole, I feel like we should spotlight the women's indie wrestlers, because we were doing very well there. We were disgusted
by the fact that Lucy Sky was robbed.
She was robbed.
Absolutely,
rematch
she was.
immediately.
But technically not robbed, because Lana Austin's a national treasure, and we can't, certain bad.
The rules do not apply to Lana Austin.
So she was kind of robbed, but I don't know who robbed her.
If it was anyone else, we would be fuming, but because it was Lana Austin,
Well, because nobody else.
And she's been announced for Manchester. Have you seen?
Yes,
I have.
Yes, I have.
We'll get to that in just a second.
That has convinced me to go. Carry on, Dan. Sorry.
So, Nightshade, Rain Leverkusen, Session Moth, and Sky Smithson against Alexis Falcon, Lucy Sky, Millie McKenzie, who used to be
excellent.
Used to be in the Fed, but then everyone realised that she actually doesn't need the Fed to prove how good she is. She's incredible, and for the first time, I believe, is Bozilla.
Yes.
On one side, first time in Eve. Yeah. Really looking forward to that. That should be a cracking 8-woman tag. Then international title, it's Anita Vaughan and Lucia Lee, which I'm really looking forward to. Watch the promo. Like, honestly, watch the promo.
Yes,
fantastic.
I like Lucia Lee. She's really good. She was in TNT last month.
Yeah.
And I think she was on at the Infinite Hooters show. Was that last month as well? She's very good.
Yes. Yeah. She's. I'm looking forward to that. I think Anita Vaughan we saw at Rev Pro in Doncaster as well. She was quite impressive as well. But the big selling point, the featured match, if you like, is for the IWGP Women's Title. Alex Windsor is going to be challenging Shuri, who won it off of Mayu Iwatani, I believe. And it's the first time that women's title is going to be defended on the UK. In the UK, and it's happening in London, and I'm very excited. And it's going to be an absolute show stealer. It has the potential, I think, to be one of the women's matches of the year.
Well, hopefully you guys, while you're there, can get some, do some detective work. Probably not on the level of the kind of detective work I do, but I'm sure you get close and find out what's going on with this rumored Eve Forbidden Door weekend show. Because I would like to plan things.
Well, I will ask if we can grab anyone
Ask Will
who is
Ospreay.
there.
I'm sure we can
I'm
find
not-
some.
sorry,
I'm sure we
Andy,
can find
I'm
somebody
not
who's
going
had a
for Will
haircut.
Ospreay.
No,
I'm
you
sure we
ask
can
him.
find somebody who's just had a haircut who might be able to
Ask him.
divulge.
He's only
but
going to be
we'll
putting
see what we
chairs
can
out
do.
and stuff. Just ask him.
Will Ospreay, he's there to cheer up. Ospreay, for those of you that don't know, you maybe heard the name in wrestling. Will Ospreay. The reason you've heard of him is because he's actually Mr. Alex Windsor.
The reason they've heard.
That is what Ospreay is famous for.
The reason they've heard of him is because he lost to the future AEW World Champion at the last pay-per-view.
No, his biggest claim to fame is he's married to Alex Windsor.
The man who gets buried at every opportunity, but is gonna win the world title.
No, you know what?
Will Ospreay will be there putting chairs out. You know, just say to him, go, Will, what's going on with this fucking show, man?
For
Both
context, Brett,
together.
just in case you might not know, Brett, Ospreay co-produces Eve shows, so he's there every week. Well, every time that they put
Do you
on
know
a show.
what? It's so fucking good as well because like you would like people to
Cat. Andy,
Yeah,
stop.
Luna's.
Cat.
Yeah, he's.
you would like people to love Eve and to be attracted to Eve and get into Eve because of what's on display in the wrestling. And you know, most wrestling fans who follow it do. But if Will Ospreay can draw a few extra fans in just because he's Will Ospreay and he's talking about it all the time because he's doing some great fucking promotion on it, it's fucking ace. And he's shedding so many more eyes on this. And these people will then, when they actually see an Eve show, they're going to be fucking blown away and become fans. So it's just great seeing the you know the shilling he's doing for it really and kind of really pushing it everywhere he can.
Yeah, we
Well,
heard
what's
from
great
Lucy
is that
Sky
he-
as well that
He's
he's been helpful, he's been inspiring, he's been pushing them to do that.
Been coaching a lot of them, coaching some of them, producing some of the matches for them. It's fucking great.
Because
I say
Ospreay's
producing,
like
it's fucking-
really got his foot still in the UK scene. Like it's very much like a passion project for him, even though he's like
it
you know,
is.
really hit the big time now. But he still like commutes almost every week and flies over each time, still lives over here, still wants to be a dad to his stepson and everything, and he's still like grinding and trying to sort of help these smaller promotions out, which is really kind of what we need more people
right now.
like that who want to actually give back to the indie scene rather than
he's so passionate
people
about
who and it's refreshing to see that happen like over here when on the flip side you've got people trying to sort of kill it and scorch it for what it's worth and just try and raid everybody and lure them to sort of move over to the
What do you mean someone's trying to go over to the UK and raid and scorch the indie scene?
Oh,
what are you
Europe
talking
in
about?
general.
Just Europe in general.
What? You're telling me there's some evil corporation that's trying to monopolize the wrestling business so that they're not the best choice, they're the only choice for wrestling fans? You're telling me there's a corporation out there in the world that exists in
This guilty face says it all. It's all him. He knows we're onto him. He
Who
knows.
is it? Luna, who is it? Who is it?
That cat legit looks angry.
Yeah.
Because of the subject matter. That's what it is.
He's fuming. He's fuming.
You can hear what we're talking about.
Well, you know what? That supposed evil corporation has going through a lot of turmoil right now. A lot of negative press recently. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's left and right.
For 5 minutes, like.
For 5 minutes, yeah. I mean,
then Raw happened, and then everyone forgot about it.
Yeah, 1 minute it's, oh my god, this is terrible, I can't support a company that does that. The next it's, he said yeet.
I literally tweeted
That's
that.
fine,
I literally tweeted that Sunday night, and it came to fruition Monday night. Like, they're 1 minute they're mad. Listen, I understand.
Yeah, watch it, enjoy it, but don't act like you're not gonna watch it and then immediately do it. I don't believe you.
It's what it is especially for the wrestling content creators out there that I see on TikTok and all the social media apps. It's the if you're going to the show, make sure you chant your support for R-Truth and blah blah blah. Listen, here's the thing: you could say on one hand that you're upset that they didn't renew R-Truth's contract and whatnot, that you're upset with TKO's business practices, that it's killing your love for the sport. But here's the problem: your little chance at Monday Night Raw ain't gonna do shit. You want to know why? You're still buying the damn tickets. You're still buying the merch. You're still watching the show. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters to TKO are two things: their bottom line, and if there's asses in the seats at all these events. You can't do both. You can't play that you're so visibly upset that you're shaking to your core, your fandom and all this and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? You're still putting money into the fucking machine at the end of the day.
Like, they should sign?
Yeah,
No,
who's
you know
that?
they've freed up some capital there now. You know what they should sign? They signed Mariah May. Do you know what they should have signed?
Who's that?
Britt Baker. Do you know why? Because then when the fans are showing the displeasure, she could mouth to the camera, "Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares."
I
Nobody
love her,
cares.
Becky. You leave her alone.
Oh,
She's
no,
saying where she is.
It wasn't a dig at Britt Baker. It was more just
No,
a
I
nobody
know.
cares thing. I've defended Britt Baker
yeah.
to the hilt because of people spreading malicious rumours about her private life. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
These Teflon fuckers.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah,
then
no,
she apologised. She did
No.
apologise for it, to be fair. So
And
Delicious.
just to backtrack really quickly, like I mean, I did show my support for Truth Magnum. Like I mean, I'll support that guy till the ends of the earth, to the ends of the earth on my
Hilarious.
legacy.
I'm so mad I've gone blurry.
I genuinely do not like. I have no interest in seeing R-Truth. I'm sorry, I don't.
No.
And like, for all the support he's getting, fair play. People love his character, but like, did he not like express support for Vince McMahon?
He's a Vince guy, yeah. Yeah, he's a big Vince guy. And the recent releases, people are fantasy booking them. That's great. That's great fun. I do it all the time. But it's all very well saying, yeah, sign them. Only one or two have even expressed an interest in going to AEW. They might not want to. You know, some of them might want to try and work their way back to WWE. Some might want to go to Japan. Some might want to pack it in altogether. Some might want to run the indies. You don't know. So
Do you know what
they haven't. I think Elena Black has said she's interested, but
It's head wrecking because she did say she's interested in AEW, but she also said WWE is still a dream and she'd like to work her way back there. And like, even when you look at someone
there you
who's
go.
been as successful as Matt Cardona, I'm a big fan of Matt Cardona. What he's done should be an example to any of these people. At least he is the template for any of these people who are maybe thinking it's over and stuff, and they see what he's done. But then when you hear him saying how much he'd go back and he'd be Zack Ryder again, I'm like, man, why would you? Matt Cardona is far better than Zack Ryder, and he showed,
that's what he wants.
surely he's making money, like more money as Matt Cardona, but it's this dream that a lot of these guys have, which you can't tear down people's dreams, but it's just, I don't know, it's just fucking baffling.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
really is.
It's like we talked about, like a lot of people who are in their sort of 30s and maybe even their 20s, like they grew up in, for large parts of their life where WWE was the only thing that was available. So they've grown up idolizing being there, behind the curtain and being out there as like a wrestler. So when it does go wrong and they get released, it's obviously sad, and you don't want people to sort of lose their jobs or whatever. But that we live in a time now where there are like multiple avenues to earn a living, like through wrestling and stuff. And what's going to happen over the next sort of 10 years or so, the longer AEW sticks around, like more younger wrestlers are going to grow up having not only grown up with AEW as a product, so they're familiar with, but also they strive to be in. And I think that's something to look forward to in like the long term when, you consider that, we're going to eventually move away when all people want to, the only place that people want to be is like going to WWE, and when they get released, just waiting until they can jump at the chance to go back.
We're seeing the effect now. Again, those of us that are in the UK, we grew up, a lot of us watching TNA because it was available over here.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay, I remember him saying he wasn't a WWE guy or WWF guy. He was a TNA kid. He grew up watching TNA. In the end, he went to AEW, but he wasn't someone who WWE was the be all and end all.
No.
So we're seeing that in America now as well. There are other options.
Yeah, we're definitely getting there, and I think that, of course, I'm not gonna say, well, if you want to sort of strive to end up in WWE, then fine, have that, earn that bag, because if it's what you want, it's what you want. It's why I don't
But
really
be aware
begrudge
that your wages have probably doubled thanks to the existence of the competition.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not a pro wrestler, so I can't really comment from their point of view and how they see it. But I just, for me as a fan, it's very disappointing investing your time into someone's progress when their end game is to get out of the product that I enjoy watching, and to move into a product that I have zero interest in because there's nothing for me at all. And it's a very selfish way of looking at it, but I mean that's the only way I can look at it as a fan. I can't look at it as from a wrestler's point of view because I'm not one,
No, I don't mind so much. I see it as a TV show. Like someone comes in for a season, they tell that story, they end on a season finale, in this case, the Hollywood ending.
Oh,
And then
no,
the character goes and you don't see them again. But
that's
yeah,
fine.
I'm going to miss Mariah in AW. I am.
That's fine. It's not an issue with that. It's more the when people start downing tools to when they get the phone call and start down. So kind of like what's happened with some of these people allegedly. Whereas on the flip side, we have people like Swerve and Adam Cole who were tapped back up by the other regime and actually was like, no, I'm happy where I am, thanks. It's all the nefarious stuff that's going on. If it's just a case of the contract ends and they decide to move on, there's no that's the same in any sport. It's not really an issue. It's when there's all this fucking shit going on behind the scenes that kind of. I mean, because realistically, I know this is probably a Tony thing in terms of he doesn't want to give people airtime if they're not going to be there. I would have Mariah May on TV over the last couple of months, fucking jobbing to people and putting people over. Like, I'm not saying job every week, but put over some of the, put over fucking, Mean. Put over Mean a bit on your way out. Put over fucking Anna Jay. Put over, Tay on a way back. Put over fucking, a best mate, fucking Harley Cameron. Put her over. Just give some of these guys some wins off the back of your name before you fuck off. Because your name's meaningless over there anyway. It's going to be something else.
Yeah, it's kind of like why. I mean, I know he never jobbed anyway, but it's like before Malachi Black went back. Everyone kind of knew that that's where he wanted to be anyway because he kind of really phoned it in. And I know not all of us are like massive fans of his work, but at least he put over like a couple of people. Like he put over like Adam Cole. He put over. Did he put over Kyle O'Reilly or did he win that?
No, I think the fact that you can't remember who he put over says a lot more about the way he was. Miro's another one. Miro refusing to take a pin after time allegedly. Again, we don't know this is the case. Might be if it's shite Miro, I'm very sorry, but I don't think it is shite. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Whereas like you look on the flip side. They just like Phoenix. I would have had Phoenix out there jobbing, and whether he would have or not, I don't know. I think it was more a case of Tony just not wanting to give him airtime. But the longer they're off TV, I think it makes them more of a bigger deal. If Mariah had been on TV over the last couple of months losing some matches, it wouldn't have been as big a fucking story when she goes. Like kind of when Ricochet left, they made him. He basically fucking died. They killed him off. And they do that with a lot of guys.
Perfect example was Andrade because right before he was leaving, he was in the Continental Classic, and he won some matches, but he really turned up, and he actually crazy. He put on some like that was like the best stretch of his AEW run.
Do you know what? Right, if you give me a list of all these people and said which one's going to be the most professional on the way out, I would not.
Never said Andrade.
I apologize for judging you like this, but I would not have said Andrade in a million years.
No.
And now it's kind of realistic that seeing how Andrade has been booked in WWE for like almost a year now. I think it's a real possibility that he could be the first one to leave AEW, go to WWE, and come back to AEW. I see that as a real possibility because it's more so on how he conducted business on the way out. Like, Tony put him in the CC. He picked up some wins, and it's kind of crazy that his final match, both their matches together, Miro versus Andrade at World's End 2023. I think that was both their last matches in AEW, if I'm correct. That was just a weird vibe. I was there live, but I think we all knew there, this is the last time we're going to see them in the ring. But listen, I know Rusev got used to calling him Rusev again. I know it's only been a month he's been back in WWE, but it's the kind of glimpses I have seen. It's feels kind of flat right now. Same with
it really does
with Aleister Black right now. Because here's the thing, it was 7-8 years ago that they were in the company, and now they're back. It's like, now you're 7 years older now with all these other young guys who have been brought up and pushed. And it's like, there's only so much spots that can get TV time, that can get a push, that can get the gold. And what do you do with them?
Resentment that, not just with the ones returning, but with the new ones coming in from AEW. Ethan Page, Ricky Saints.
There has to be.
It's like, it's nice. I miss Rampage. It's nice to have it back. But now Mariah May coming in.
It has to be.
The loyalists that were there in the Performance Center for a long time learning their way.
Yeah, there has to be. And as we've seen with R-Truth, he's got a lot of friends, and you have to think a lot of these others have got friends, and they've watched him go and been like, you're really going to fucking cut this person and bring in this other fucker who's been phoning it in at another company for the last 4 years. Mariah May's not on that list because she wasn't. She was doing anything but phoning it, and she was fucking brilliant. But some of the other guys were phoning it in. Like I don't fucking care. They were. There's no other way around it, clearly. And like for them to be bringing them in and cutting someone like the truth one, like I say, I'm not really a great fan anyway. Like, but wasn't he like? I might be wrong. Was he not the biggest selling T-shirt at the moment?
So
the
really,
week they got rid.
Literally right up until they didn't renew his contract, he was in the feud with John Cena. They came out with a T-shirt called Ron Cena, like for Cena's retirement tour, and it was one of the highest selling shirts in the WWE shop. And all right, cool. That's and then literally the next week we get the news his contract's not being renewed. So that was just the timing of it was just all weird and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, mind you, if you're going to say that merch sales should equal TV time, Danhausen would be AEW World Champion. So
As well,
I do think Danhausen should be on TV more, but
I
not World Champion.
I don't think his gimmick works for AEW. I think he'd probably do really well at the Fed because they've had zombies at ringside in the past couple of years. So
Oh yeah, they ate the Miz, didn't they?
yeah, so I think Danhausen's curse shit and all that would probably work really well over there. I just think in AEW when he for a while it was like everyone just completely oblivious to it and just kind of thinking he's an idiot. But there's only so long you can do that without changing the character. I think I said this last week. Like I would have liked to have seen him go more back to his darker character. They did it once.
The very evil version.
Yeah, they did it once and never did it again for some reason.
Yeah, and then he rocked up on Ring of Honor, and then there was nothing. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I choose to assume
yeah.
he lives under every wrestling ring. That's what Danhausen is at all times.
Be
But yeah,
surprised, to be honest.
true that it shocked the hell out of me. That is one I did not see coming. And there's got to be a feeling there now of, well, nobody's safe.
It's a bit uncertainty, isn't it? Because if our truth of all people, and I don't want to
If you ask me to
speculate.
name a lifer,
Yeah,
that was-
yeah, he's been there
he's up there with
since
the Miz and Seth
2000.
Rollins.
Yeah, there's a few others who deleted all the references and people jumped on, oh, this could
The
be
Mi-
a thing, but
the Miz, Gunther.
Gunther.
So
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way in a million
I'm
years
not gonna-
to let him
I'm
Walter
not going to
go.
read.
no,
No.
absolutely not.
God, no.
I'd be very shocked because he
Like,
just
you-
re-signed last year.
You would basically be handing a fucking, a loaded weapon to your opponent. You are not letting Walter go. That guy
Yeah,
somewhere else would be just an absolute fucking machine.
You're not letting Walter go, but at the same time, you can't blame Walter or Gunther for being upset that he's gonna eat 2 pins to Jey Uso. Who's the world heavyweight champion?
I don't think he'll care.
No, I'm playing, of course.
Like we care as fans.
yeah.
Like, we look and go, he must be outraged, but he probably doesn't give a fuck. does he?
He don't care. I think he signed a new contract
Yeah.
last year, but the Miz, I think supposedly he wiped everything WWE off of his Twitter, and I think supposedly his contract comes up next month. And listen, if you don't know, TKO is supposedly $3 billion in debt. So any contracts that are coming up renewal, if you are not the main event, if you were not in the bloodline the past 5 years, if you're not Sami Zayn, if you're not CM Punk, Seth Rollins, anyone associated with Paul Heyman, I mean, you got to be a little bit worried and nervous because, I mean, like Lucy just said, our truth, like, oh shit. And I'm sorry, with the Miz also, that's another guy's been there for almost 20 years, but if his salary is what it is and he's not doing a lot on TV, guess what? He's not going to get renewed, so more than likely, but we'll see what happens. But I mean, listen, can we just pipe down with the damn fan? I don't know. I hope you guys are trolling. I hope you guys are trolling with your fantasy booking some of these people in AEW, especially I don't want to see. Oh, who's that coming down the ramp? It's Mike Mizanin coming to help MJF. Fuck no, Miz. I'm sure he's a very. Miz. I'm sure he's a very nice guy off camera. I don't need to see him on Wednesday nights. Absolutely not.
While we're having this discussion, let's quickly just go around. And like, if you could take one male and one female from the Fed.
Do they have to be released, or can they be from the current roster?
Just who would you take if they're available? Who is the one where you would be like, holy fucking shit, we have to get this person?
Okay.
I got.
Go on.
Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say him. but come back to me because I feel like it's a cop out if I say the same one.
Yeah, come back to me as well. Andy, you go. You ask the question.
Me, I'd take Walter in a heartbeat, and the women's one's a bit harder because the go-to one will probably be Rhea Ripley, but I think I'd just with like, I think that the fit in AEW, and because there's not many like her, I would go with Sol Rucker, to be honest.
So for me, I think again I'd go Elia, but if not going to go Elia or Gunter, I'd probably go just for one match, I suppose, or maybe 2 matches. AJ Styles, I think I just because again,
rapping for Ospreay.
I grew up with TNA, so yeah, I think he's great in the ring. I don't agree with him on like his politics and his like views of the world and everything like that, but I can look past it if he's actually willing to like do business and stuff like that. And for the women, Io Sky, because she's the best that they've got. That's not like Mariah May, basically.
Okay, well, you've taken Io. So for the women, I'm going to go Bianca Belair just because I like her. And for the men,
good.
Carmelo Hayes, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Isn't he their champ? No, is he their champion? No, he's TNA champion.
So you know what? Here's the thing. Like,
can I still have him? Is he?
I get into this kind of discussion sometimes on TikTok lives about Carmelo Hayes that I'm getting really fucking annoyed about the discourse with Carmelo Hayes that, you know, it's been a year since he was drafted to the main roster from NXT, and in NXT him and Braun Breaker were built as like the 2 big stars on that show, like, and they're 2 young future stars of any wrestling promotion, and I look silly me looking at wrestling as a sport, you know, like when I look at the 4 main characters that were drafted last year to the main roster: Carmelo, Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, and Lyra Valkyria. Between those 4, 3 of them were on WrestleMania. 3 of them were in WrestleMania. One of them is a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, and now is in the Paul Heyman's new faction with Seth Rollins. Tiffy beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. Lyra is feuding with Becky Lynch. Carmelo is tagging with the fucking Miz. Okay.
Last time I saw him, he was
not for long.
NXT champion.
Not for long if the not for long if the rumors are true and his contract is coming up next. But I am fucking tired of hearing that. Oh, it's too soon. It's been over a fucking year, and 3 of his counterparts that he was with in NXT that were drafted at the same time are leaps and bounds ahead of him. So when the fuck is enough time? It's been over a fucking year. Stop making the goddamn excuses because it fits your damn narrative. It's lazy shit. He is being booked like shit. People will come to you like, oh, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Are you fucking kidding me? The biggest participation trophy
I'm trying to think last time I remember it. Wasn't he in
wrestling?
a tag team? Is this why I keep getting him mixed? Wasn't he in a tag team in NXT with, was it Trick Williams was he with?
They were together.
And then he was champion.
Yes, he was NXT
And that's
World
when I
Champion.
stopped. I'm sure that's when I stopped watching it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were teamed together, and then he was NXT World Champion, and him and Braun, feuded for a little bit, and that was even a time where Solo Sikoa, like, he's not like on NXT, he was a killer. He was good, but now they made him a fucking goofball on the main roster, but they had to call him up because of the bloodline, which I think killed his fucking aura as a killer, in my opinion. Now he's a joke. In my opinion, but yeah, I'm tired of the fucking discourse like with Carmelo that it's too soon and blah blah. No, 3 of his counterparts are main event stars already, our main event talents. Like
these kind of things. Honestly, we've spoke about this before. If you do not strike while the iron is hot, the time can pass you by. AEW had the same thing with young guys in the past, but like the Outrunners, when they should have won the titles probably last year, they should have just struck and put them on the young kids, give them a fucking run, and now they're
Andy,
like fucking they're 6 months older now.
Andy, they are forever young. There is never a time when the iron will not.
They don't
be
age.
hot.
They don't age.
They're forever
young,
young, man.
Speaking of young, I've
young.
changed my pick for the men's. Fuck AJ Styles. I want someone who is affiliated with the Fed. That's Leon Slater. I want to sign him to AEW.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, you twat. I was going to say that if we can take TNA, it's Leon Slater over everybody, because when you add his age,
because that one's on the Brook side.
No, when you add his age, honestly, when you add his age and just how fucking good he is, that guy is.
That match with Reese was.
How old is he?
He's the definition of a
19.
franchise player.
He's like
he really is.
wasn't
He's 20.
He's a toddler.
He's 20 years old.
He's a definition of a franchise player in any other sport. He's fucking incredible.
He is the.
Wait, so who's TNA champion now?
It should be him. It's fucking.
Hold up. You don't know what TNA champion is?
It's not. Joe Hendry lost it, didn't he? Was it now?
It's Trick Williams.
It is Trick
TNA.
See, I knew I was. Yeah.
Trick Williams is holding the same championship that AJ Styles,
I knew it was an NXT
Samoa
guy.
Joe and Sting have held in the past, and now in 2025 is Trick Williams.
Do you know, it's so funny. I can't remember who pointed it out, but when you read through the
TNA champions.
So that's the picked over Leon Slater is an NXT guy.
It almost gets to parody in the second half when you see who's had that fucking belt.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, honestly, it's depressing as fuck.
See, we're complaining about the Fed again. Let's not.
I just
interaction, but
I just wish TNA would fucking stand on their own 2 feet and just go for it. And like they keep saying, all the fans keep going, oh, they're going to be the number 2 promotion. No, are they? Fuck, they're not. But Joe, they could be a real solid fucking viable 3rd promotion for people who get released and for wrestlers who want TV exposure and a kind of, step up to that level. But they're not. Unfortunately, now you just get there's some great guys on the fucking indies, and some of these releases are actually really good, who would benefit so much from TNA, but instead they're just fucking taking loans and fucking cast-offs from fucking NXT and Evolve and all that shit. I fucking hate it, honestly. I want TNA to be fucking good again. And I've tried watching it recently, and it's fucking shite. It is, honestly, apart from Leon Slater, who's just doing insane things, and they've got some great young talent in there. Like, I mean, Harley Hudson signed now. I know this is biased, but Harley Hudson signed now as well. And Myra Grace is fucking excellent as well. But like, there's so many of these fucking joke shops, at the top. I mean, I'm not going to name names. I don't want to fucking slag people off because I don't intend to. It's just depressing when I want TNA to be good.
Considering where they used to be, for a lot of us, and we mentioned it earlier about how, for a lot of us growing up, like TNA was readily accessible over here. If you didn't have Sky, you could watch it on like free TV, and it was, for a while, it was just a breath of fresh air because the WWE in like the mid 2000s was just shit. Like, it was genuinely awful.
Still is.
And it hasn't improved, in my opinion. It hasn't improved. To a lot of people, it has. In my opinion, it hasn't really improved. But but TNA, it wasn't perfect, and there was a lot of shit on there. But it was still like the place. It was different because it had the 6-sided ring. It had like the first TNA match I ever watched was a triple threat between, it was Jerry Lynn, AJ Styles, and Low-Ki. And from that moment, they went 20 odd minutes, and I was just there like, hang on a minute, I've never seen wrestling like this before. It was incredible because WCW was around whilst I was like, first started watching wrestling, but it was well past the sort of peak period, so I missed a lot of like the peak cruiserweight action. So for me, like TNA, like at that time, was like really, really must see. And it's sad to see that they've just become this kind of, this feeder to the feeder system, if you like. They're just, they've lost a bit of their identity, and now they're just kind of very much paint by numbers, and it's just almost a carbon copy of what NXT is now. And I think in hindsight, we can all see why Scott left, can't we? Because he didn't want to do that. It appeared he wanted to push against it.
He was kicked out, wasn't he? I
think it was a coup.
It was a case of like he wanted to do something they didn't want.
Buy it? Is that the rumor?
That was towards the end, yeah. But initially, he wanted to make some more ambitious moves and try and push TNA a little bit harder. And they would. It seems from what I've read, honestly, I'm not a fucking expert on this, obviously, but it seems like for Anthem, it's just a cost-cutting measure, and let's just kind of run this as cheap as we can. And we'll just kind of keep it ticking over, spending as little as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's why a lot of the long-time players there have left, like Gail Kim left, which is that's a shit move. That is a mad move.
She was.
She was
also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying AEW doesn't need to sign everyone. Gail Kim doesn't count.
100%.
You need Gail Kim.
They really,
Gail fucking Kim.
they really should. I mean, like,
They should absolutely sign Gail
you
Kim.
could probably argue that with WBD running how they do, maybe the signing Gail Kim would be a waste of time. But no, sign Gail Kim. Give the women more time and sign Gail Kim.
Yeah, because she advocated. I mean, again, I'm not an expert. I don't want to paraphrase. So someone please do correct me if I am chatting absolute shit here. But supposedly she advocated a lot for the women in TNA, and for a large part, at least when she was, an active wrestler.
With the knockouts.
Yeah. But when she was she was a diehard for TNA. Like for a while she left there to go back to the Fed, but then she went back because she wasn't happy with how she was being booked, and she says, "Look, I made a mistake. I want to put it right." And she actually lived and breathed TNA for a long time, and you very rarely see people like that, like in this sort of line of work, where people are, they're not always tempted by like the fame and fortune and the money. They want to be somewhere where they're valued and everything like that, and I kind of admire that. I really think that was quite a good example to set, and especially for the way that she advocated for the women in there in TNA, because for a large part, like, they were like the best part of the show for a good 3 years. Like, they always were like the best part of the show, and you would regularly get at least 3, maybe 4 matches every week. It's sad to see what it's become, and I think she would be a really good asset to like AEW. I think they'd be stupid not to sign her if they could, but again, it's like, is that going to be just like running your head against a brick wall because of the way WBD is, where again, it's all assumptions, it's all speculation. I don't know whether there's any barriers to this.
If it wasn't them, then Ring of Honor would be in a similar boat.
Yeah, and Dark used to give the women so much more time when the division was like, very threadbare at the time. It has to be. It's going to be typical fucking
But on the other hand, I don't want to take responsibility away from Tony Khan. Poor Tony, they won't let him. No, bloody show.
He should be pushing back at it, show, like, I mean, you'd like to hope that maybe that's what he's trying to do by main eventing some of these women on Dynamite, but just fucking do it more and keep showing them just how, the reactions that they're getting. Just fucking send Tony Storm down to the fucking headquarters. Tells to give a fucking go.
With Mercedes stick.
Just send Rio down there with a chair. They'll comply. I'm terrified of
the pipe.
Rio with a pipe.
Rio's lead pipe.
They'll bend the knee to her, but just real quick, like what Dan was saying. Just think of the complete 180 that TNA has done just within the past year. Like, you go back to January last year when you had Ospreay and Alexander have that amazing match, and then then D'Amore makes that promo, cuts that promo right in the middle of the ring. Like, you could tell that he wanted TNA to work so badly. Like, that was his passion.
Was that the UK show?
I don't remember.
No, I don't think it was.
No,
it was the rebrand, wasn't it? Essentially,
it was.
Yeah, was that not? Because Ospreay was there at the UK show. I was there.
But I don't think it was that one. Was it? Maybe it was. I know Ospreay did an American one as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did a couple, because I know.
He had the match with Speedball, and he had the match.
Did Okada not do one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, Okada did one. And you know what? I think they made a meme. They made a meme with Okada. Like, I think his last appearance, he kissed the mat, and that was the kiss of death, basically. But I'll just say, like, it's just a complete 180. You have Ospreay and Alexander in the ring having that amazing match. Then D'Amore cuts that program saying TNA is fucking back, and then a month later he's canned because how dare he wants to improve the product and TNA make it a viable option out there. And now we go to this year. Gail Kim unfortunately gets the boot also, and then you turn on TNA programming and you're seeing Officer Santino Marella. It's like, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. I think if it was, if it had sort of stood on its own 2 feet, and over the last few years it had they pumped money into it, and it was sort of doing the same sort of numbers that, on the lower end of what AEW are doing now, because they're at that point now. But if they'd have been at that same spot 5 years ago and had been a bit more independent, then who knows? We could Jay White might have signed for them,
I
or
know, it's
you know,
crazy.
Swerve might have signed for them. You know, it would look a very, very different
Swerve
sort of
would have
reality.
suited the old vibe to
Exactly,
TNA.
yeah. You know, who knows what could have
Ricochet
happened?
would have.
Then Ricochet would have been fucking champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's doing the run that he's doing now, like if he's playing that character in like a revitalized TNA, he's the top star, and he's not getting pinned for like 2 years. He fits that mold perfectly.
Have any of you guys watched any of Scott's new promotion?
Oh, MLP,
Oh,
yeah.
Maple
Yeah.
Leaf Pro.
So I watched
basically-
it's
basically classic good TNA, isn't it? That's what it feels like.
the Josh Alexander and Takeshita match and the Speedball Takeshita match were the main reasons I tuned in. I didn't watch anything involving someone by the name of
the next one
Bubba Ray
is.
Dudley. I looked over
Don't
that
know,
one,
don't know
but
who that is, to be honest.
I've never heard of him. Didn't
Some
really
old
keep
fella.
my interest. But anyway, no. But I got what you mean. Yeah, it was very much like sort of 2011, 2012
Yeah.
TNA minus the Hogan and Bischoff stuff. It was very good. The matches were great. Like I think we're definitely going to get that in AEW at some point. Like Alexander Takeshita. I don't know when, but it's going to happen at some point because I think they saw. That's when they saw that Josh
I'd
was
say
actually
so.
like
And before we
So,
move
yeah.
on from TNA as well, I've said this before, but an ice cold take. Kurt Angle's best matches were all in TNA.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes without
It's
saying.
absolutely.
I think
His TNA match catalog is fucking.
It's
pisses
unreal.
all over his WWE one.
100%. 100%. The matches with like Joe, the matches with AJ, like the matches with Nigel McGuinness, the matches with all good. Absolutely blows anything he did in WWE out of the water.
Anyway, fuck
Couldn't
the
agree
Fed.
more. Fuck the Federer.
Now, then, forever.
But anyway, speaking of promotions beginning with T, so it's bad.
Well done.
That was the only seg I had. The only we all went to. Well, I say we. You all went to Fusion nightclub in Liverpool last weekend, didn't you? I was
Hell of
watching
a
on
venue.
Triller. So give us a little bit of a rundown. What was it like in the venue? And I'll tell you what it was like for me.
Just the atmosphere in Fusion's great. You're very hemmed in. We have great spots on the balcony because we're like royalty in the VIP box. We go on a balcony, and it's just a really nice. Like it's not nice, is it? It's a very
A nightclub
very-
is never nice.
it's very atmospheric. It's we have a great view of the action. We're all hemmed in. It's a really good vibe. And for most of it, it was like that, and then a lot of it I can't really remember because I was very drunk, but it was good.
You were struggling.
That's
T.
that's
I
a
remember
shocker
some of
for
it.
me.
Yeah. What I also remember is having to try and get home quite fast, early for various reasons, and getting stuck on the M6 for 2 hours, which was a lot of fun because they'd shut a junction. But otherwise, it was perfect. Immaculate vibes at Fusion. If you ever get a chance to do that venue, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite promotions. Not bias either because it's local. It's just that the shows they put on, like I don't know how Jay does it. Honestly, it's they're fucking incredible. There's never been a bad show. You've had people who had to pull out for various reasons, and they still managed to put on a fucking banger card with just wall to wall great matches. It's fantastic, and there's the show at the weekend there was a great mix of established talent and also kind of a lot of young, kind of up and coming talent as well. A great mix of, real good technical wrestling, comedy wrestling, and deathmatch wrestling. It was. I'm smiling now because just thinking about how good it was. It was great.
And they don't shy away from letting the women wrestle.
No,
They
not at all.
don't, they'll happily have intergender matches. The death match, it was absolutely phenomenal. They stole the show for me, Lucy Sky and Session Goth.
Yeah, Session
Wasn't
Goth.
it?
When she
It
come
wasn't-
out to
it wasn't
Electric
Session
Callboy,
Goth.
and then when Emerson Jane come out to Slipknot.
She was looking very Kevin Sullivan in Dungeon of Doom, but no. So the daytime show, as we've explained this before, and anyone who watched it will know, but and you'll know from watching it, Dan. The daytime show was very kid friendly to a certain extent. The no holds barred match was a bit.
I was
going to
say, yeah, that probably toes the line a bit, because I'd say Lewis Johnson is probably like, he's probably scare a lot of the kids there. No offense to him, but
the daytime show was great. Yeah, it kind of tends to be more the more PG show, and then the nighttime show is the anything goes show. The two matches that stood out for me from the daytime show, they were all great. There really wasn't a bad match on the card. I mean, like the first match I think was Joseph Connors
and Tom McCall.
Yeah, it was, and
that was a bit scary. There was a bit of a scary moment, wasn't there, when he nearly
loose. Yeah, they had to tighten the ropes up. They were a little bit loose, and Tom McCall took a bit of a fall, but like we were talking to him afterwards, he was all right.
He's all right, yeah. Managed it.
Joseph Connors needs to turn. He's a fantastic heel, but he's a very, very plain baby face, isn't he? He's very kind of like
very not cookie cutter. That's harsh, but it's like
I really want to. I've seen him in another promotion where he's a heel, and he's fucking brilliant. Like, he's savage. So I want to see him turn. I'm sure that's what's going to happen at some point, but. Yeah, and then
But hang on, for that match though, can we talk about the lack of somebody?
Yes.
His partner, Tom McCall's partner, Richie.
His partner didn't turn up.
Nowhere
to be seen at all.
He was there, and then he sent him to the back, and then he was gone.
And he had to rely on help from somebody else.
Yeah.
It's no.
Critchy, who we have had as a guest on this show, very disappointed in you, Critchy.
It's a disgrace.
He looked, Critchy with his sad non-purple bin.
Sat polishing his fucking briefcase while his partner's out there taking a beating. It's a disgrace. And what was the next match?
I've got the card up here. So it was the Trail of Dead, Max Brooker and Chase Alcala against Jimmy Jackson and Najee.
That was a decent match.
It was decent. Najee's good. Najee's great. I liked him.
Najee's excellent, yeah. But Jimmy Jackson, it's a mad one. He always does something in a match that stands out. Like the last one, he was diving off a balcony. The one before that was a rumble, and he got through. He went over the ropes. He went over the ropes, onto his hands, and then did a hand, fucking walked on his hands all the way around the fucking ring, and then went back in because his feet hadn't touched the floor. It was incredible. But he always does something mad. It was a decent match. It was it wasn't the best match on the card, but it was very solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then it was the no holds barred. It was Grim Reaper, Lewis Johnson, and Liam Carr.
That exceeded all of my expectations. I said
definitely.
I spoke to Lewis afterwards, and I said to him that's the best match he's ever had for me. That I've seen. That's the best match I've seen him, and it was excellent. It was so fucking good.
I saw him on the set. I just stared at him like this. I think he thought I was just some creep. I was like, just seeing him in real life. I was like, oh god.
To me, obviously,
don't make eye contact.
It was one of those ones when, they've clearly wrestled each other a lot. Like, they know each other like really, really well. And then, like Lewis was saying, how Liam's done like the Canadian Tournament of Death like 4 times or 3 times or something, and he's tough as nails basically. But they've wrestled each other like so much, and I don't want to use the word wrestling soulmates because it's a bit cliche, but to me it feels like these two, like, if they keep going like in the same sort of direction, they'll keep having the same kinds of matches like well into their careers. And it's one of those ones. It's kind of like nice to see. I just thought they gelled like so well together.
It was excellent. As I say, it far exceeded any expectation I had for the match. It was excellent. And Liam Carr also threw in a your grass spot in the middle of it, which is brilliant. I love it. It's great. It's great. I mentioned that when we were talking to him midnight, but I just think it's fucking excellent. Like, it was so random when he did the first time that whenever I hear him do it now, I'm just pissing myself. But like, why is he grass? What's he grassed them up for? It was brilliant. I need to know the story.
Yeah. Do you mind explaining that one for me?
Okay.
A grass, like, is what people call someone who what was it? Who grasses on them, I suppose. Like,
he's a knob. He's a knob.
Yeah, a snitch. Yeah.
A snitch. Yeah.
Yeah. You've done something. I've gone and fucking told everyone. Told the police, whatever. But yeah, he called him a grass. Like, I think he had him in a hole, did he? Or he went to him and he goes, take this, you grass. Dead loud. And it was like, what the fuck? That's amazing. It's like, I don't know what he's grassed him on. Maybe we'll ask him next time we speak to him.
Maybe we can get him on. We'll get an exclusive.
And then I think next I may
Yeah, it was Critchy and Kid Like Us too.
yes, that was a very good
Great
match.
match. Very quick. It was like 6 minutes or something. Very
Yeah, it
rapid.
was
But
Not on against Critchy, but like us two is fucking phenomenal. And Critchy with a snide sneaky pin there and rolling straight out the ring, getting out there. Probably the best thing to do, to be honest. Probably best way out.
Yeah. Yeah, I popped myself by coming up with, Critchy and Scratchy.
I know, I got a chant going, didn't it? Thanks to
If you had the Critchy and Scratchy chat, that was me giggling like an idiot up on the balcony. I don't even have Andy's excuse of being drunk.
That was thanks to fucking Aaron. I actually wasn't half drunk till really late on because I started drinking water halfway through. But no, and then after the next one was
Bullet.
probably the loudest reaction of the fucking day. Well, it was the loudest reaction. Bullet, wasn't it? Oh man,
Bullet and RPD.
Did we sound loud?
Oh yeah,
Fucking hope so.
It was loud.
There was a Bullet party up on the balcony.
I knew you'd be all like gassed up, like you wouldn't believe, like as soon as he appeared.
Not against RPD either. He's excellent. Like he is excellent, but I love Bullet. So whenever Bullet's involved,
he's great. He's got a real presence about him.
He has.
We all need Bullet Club shirts.
I know we do. Oh, fucking, he needs to get some made.
Yeah.
It was excellent. I really enjoyed that match. Couple of near falls as well towards the end. That got me to the point where I actually couldn't. Like I thought Bullet was going to win, but I'm like, hang on, like this could go any way.
Yeah.
And then Bullet won quite convincingly in the end. It was good. Really enjoyed it.
The quick question, like, did you get the sense because he was hanging around with the crowd for a bit, like afterwards, like he's not sort of, that wasn't like a swan song for him. That wasn't like a sort of curtain call kind of match, if you like. No, he's not like
I think
off anywhere or anything.
I think he just appreciates the love.
Good.
It's like,
okay,
that's some amount of fucking love we give Bullets. Yeah.
No, I respect that.
Because like a lot of fans still want to see a Bullet and Treddy team up, so that may come down the line. And then we had the main event, didn't we? MVK
and Joe Kessler.
Yeah, there's a solid match. I think coming after Bullet, we were all knackered, so the crowd was a bit quieter for that. But Joe Kessler's a very solid wrestler. MVK is a fucking monster. It was just a really solid match. And
but then
we got. No, go on. I know what you're going to say. Go on.
Yeah, because obviously the I'll tell you what it was like for me. I don't know what the reaction was like for you guys, but in my living room, I pretty much jumped up as soon as I heard Hatebreed hit the speakers. So obviously they teased it that Rampage Brown was coming to TNT. It's going to be on High Voltage, which is in the July show, the July matinee show, going up against MVK, and that's the main reason why I'm so gutted that I can't make it. But I'm going to be watching it on Triller again because, I mean, this was the first like afternoon show that I'd watched, and I was very impressed, and it sort of set the stage for what was to come later on, which again was on during the Champions League final, but. I stress not, like when PSG went 2 goals up, I didn't even realise because I was so hooked on what I was watching.
The evening show was phenomenal. It was. I mean,
the evening show was magnificent.
We get a nice break.
Really
we get to go outside, get some food, a little bit of a break. Then we come back and we got a picture with Trent, which was nice. There's only the only Trent I would have liked to have a picture with in Liverpool. Trent 7. And a really nice fella as well, actually. He was quite accommodating. We got quite a few pictures with him and a nice group one.
We got all of us in the group. He's. I had a bit of a moment with him. I was like, oh my god, that's Trent 7, and he's just stood there going, yeah, hello, hi, are you going to take this photo? Yeah, sorry, Trent, sorry. Yeah, his moustache is magnificent.
It was. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic start to what was going to be an incredible evening.
With the scramble match.
The scramble was fucking brilliant. Do you know the scramble? I really enjoyed that, and I hear the rumor Leon Cage was supposed to be in that. Now, how true that is, I don't know. I did hear that rumor, and he was going to win it.
Yeah. Oh right. Okay.
But like I say, that would
have been mental.
But regardless, that was a lot of the people who've come through a lot of the younger lads who've come through over the last couple of years, just showing what what they've got over what the scene has got to look forward to over the next few years. They're fucking brilliant. Some of the stuff they were doing was incredible. And speaking to, I was speaking to Jay afterwards, so a little bit of inside information here, and he said that like if that match reminded me of anything, because like I'm a massive old school WCW mark. He said his vision of that match was to them to go out and work it like the old cruiserweights in WCW.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted from them, and
Steal
that's
the
what
show.
it felt like. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I hadn't heard of like a couple of them. I hadn't really heard of like Jack Johnson or like Adam Bolt or anybody like that.
Adam Bolt's
but
very good. I've seen him a few times before. Jack Johnson I've only seen once before, but he's very good, and he got some proper fucking heat being from Manchester.
yeah, because he's from Salford, isn't he? Yeah. And Harland and Knudsen as well. I forget the tag team name that they have,
Act
but
Yeah.
as Act 2, yeah.
Do you mind explaining, like, you just say he got heat from being from Manchester, like what's the background?
Oh god, how long have you got?
What's the city you guys hate in New York the most? Your biggest rival?
There's two of them. So like, if you're a Yankees fan, you hate Boston.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Mets fan, I hate Philadelphia. I hate the Phillies. So it's a toss up between Boston and Philadelphia.
Well,
it's like that, but worse. It's like more intense.
No, worse than
'Cause they're-
Yankees, Red Sox.
No,
They're all really close together.
it is.
Really?
It literally kind
Liverpool
of.
and Manchester are like 30 miles apart, basically. or 40
Oh,
miles
okay.
apart.
So it's like, all right, it's different towns and cities, but it's like literally a half-hour drive or
Yeah,
whatever.
Pretty much.
And in
All
between, you've just got the hybrid, like fucking towns, the kind of spillover towns, like the two cities are, right next to each other. Long-standing kind of hatred of each other, generally, among everything. Sports, music,
it's-
the lot.
Yeah, pretty much it is that. Like most of the hatred, I guess, like stems from like the football, because Liverpool and Manchester United have always been like big rivals in terms of like not just because they're so close together, but also because they've always been like competing at the top of like the football league, of like the Premier League and stuff like that. And it's just created generations of just like a lot of it is tongue in cheek, and a lot of it is like they don't really like actually despise each other, but I think a lot, some do.
You're not speaking
some
for
do.
me.
So,
But it's but it's like I think this Jack Johnson, he's a young wrestler from Salford, which is in Manchester, and this show was in Liverpool, so he's naturally going to be like an outsider coming into enemy territory. So
It was great. He got some fucking major heat, and obviously the last we had Lycos in this one. Adam Bolt, and the winner was
Shane Monet.
Shane Monet, who used to tag with Adam Bolt. They split a couple of shows back, so the finish to that worked so well. And like, we're not supposed to see this, but I did see this because of where I was in the balcony. I could see through the side of the curtain. So obviously, Shane Monet was telling Adam Bolt to go fuck himself, laughing at him because he just beat him, and I could see through the fucking edge of the curtain, the little thing where I was. And Adam Bolt was stood behind the curtain like that, fucking waiting. And when Shane Monet went through with that belt, gave him the biggest fucking hug you'd ever fucking imagine. And it was just like the fucking proper heartwarming stuff. That was ace.
Love that.
Because they just
I love
fucking, they just put on a hell of a fucking showing. And to see them supporting each other like that, kind of, outside of it when you're not supposed to, it was cool as fuck. It was great. Like I say, it was old school WCW cruiserweight vibes. Well, a lot of the British indie scene kind of is really a lot, or has been a lot of the really exciting stuff over the years. So it was great to see, and we'll see a lot more.
You say old school, like WCW, like cruiserweight vibes. Like, so of course, the first match that comes to my mind is Halloween Havoc '97, Mysterio versus Guerrero, and I still say to this day, Mysterio's greatest costume, his greatest mask was the Phantom. It's hands down, and it may be one of the greatest reversals. Like, remember how the match ended? Eddie's about to do the powerbomb, but then reverse Frankensteiner. Like, it's free. It's on YouTube. I think it's on the WC.
It's amazing.
You know what? Maybe we should do a watch along one time. Like, all four of us watching it on YouTube. Like, we should do that for matches. Like,
It's on the WC match. It really.
Oh
is.
Yeah, that's a top 10 match. For
easily.
me. Like, and it's only 13 minutes, like 13-14 minutes, but it's brilliantly placed, and I mean, it's just.
There's not one wasted move in that match. It's what you would call a perfect match.
It's what you call maximizing your time. Like when you have like 15 minutes on a pay-per-view or 20 minutes or whatever, you just say like literally get as much stuff in as you can, and we're gonna steal the show. And it's exactly Eddie and Ray to a T. It's exactly what they would do.
I wonder if that was the match like back then. It's WCW in the mid to late 90s. Where the big boys play. I wonder if a lot of the guys in the back, if you have to follow that match, were you kind of pissed off looking at motherfucker, I gotta follow that shit now.
I don't think they cared.
Is.
They probably at the time thought, well, because it was Kevin Nash, wasn't it, who said that? He said, "Oh no, these guys, they're fine. No, I'm the big guy. I'm the draw. I'm the big star."
They probably did, but if you're looking back at it now, really, it's probably like someone trying to follow a fucking Ospreay match or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And,
It's a bit like Mox and Cope trying to follow Ospreay and Fletcher in that cage match. But hey,
at the end of the day, who has followed an Ospreay fucking banger match?
They did it
seamlessly. With
they
no
did it
loss.
successfully once. All Out last year when Willow and Stat did the street
Willow.
fight, but it was a street fight.
Doesn't
It was a 10-minute sprint. 10-minute sprint. Boom, boom, boom. No wasted motion.
It's
and
the only one I can think of that's followed an
Yeah.
Ospreay match and hasn't lost anything from it, and it was two women, which is fucking incredible. Which is why WBD are fucking bellend.
It speaks volumes about the talent of Stat and Willow. But no, let's get ourselves back on track here, because otherwise we're going to be here again. No, this next one really threw me as well. I was not I mean, I knew he was turning up, but I didn't know that it would be via this. It was you know the one I'm talking about. It was after the scramble match.
I was going to say how did the scramble start? Man like the Reese turned up and the belt's been vacated because Robbie X is overdoing the best of the Super Juniors. He's been doing fantastic, by the way, and man like the Reese was like
Robbie X top 10 in the world.
He really is. No, he is.
He's quality.
And man like the Reese was, saying it's time for new blood. We need a new belt, which they brought out.
Maybe it was just me, because the way he came, he started the show, he came out and Mad Dog looked like he was going to sort of say, well, what am I going to do for the rest of the night? Because man like the Reese, he killed it when he was doing the ring announcing.
He can do it, isn't that fella?
He's
He can,
phenomenal.
and he's coming off that win at Progress. He's absolutely...
He's on fire.
A man like Darius is about to absolutely skyrocket to megastardom.
Don't be getting too excited, because he isn't beating Tate. He's not beating Tate at Summer Explosion. Not happening.
Come on. Tate has not been having a good... Well, we'll get to that.
So anyway, sorry, Dan, go on.
No, I was going to say, he nearly cost Mad Dog his job with the way he was going. But
no one's costing Mad Dog his job. He's excellent, that fella.
He is quality. His suit game is so strong.
I know.
But,
you haven't seen his shoes.
Oh, I did. No, I saw them on TV. You could get a good glimpse of them, and they were blinding actually. I had to put my sunglasses on, but
I was just my head in the crowd.
It might have been my reflection in the screen, but hey ho. No, Ian Skinner. He strikes me as a bit of a MJF, bit of a Miles Kamen, a bit of a Tate Mayfair's a little bit.
He's very good.
I was quite impressed with him, actually. And
He looked red hot in that court, though. That's all I could think when he comes out in that massive court. He's made of 80 wolves or whatever it is.
He's just a very cool guy with lots of friends.
It was a very impromptu match. He basically came out, insulted man like the Reese, tried to get himself over. We got straight into a match, and man like the Reese beat the shit out of him. Fairly easily as well.
No, the best bit of the entire match was when the music started playing in the last minute, and he was just rapping Lethal Bizzle out and just pinning him. It was phenomenal.
Did you see?
I was so happy.
Not to go off again, but did you see that in the Vegas shows, the GCW, the clusterfuck, when he was rapping while he was wrestling? And he's he's doing he's working the ropes and everything while he's got a mic in his hand, and he doesn't drop a fucking beat. It's fucking amazing.
He has so much stamina as well. He's quality. I'm such a fan of Darius. I think he's on fire at the moment.
Darius is on fire, and so he essentially then decided that. Well, he declared that he wants to take Mayfair's. He wants the belt, and that's it. That's where his ambitions are. So Summer Explosion, we're going to have Tate Mayfair's man like Darius, which is amazing. And then we got a fucking a screen pop up for fucking Michael Oku.
Yeah.
Michael fucking Oku is
Did.
going to be at
Nice.
TNT.
And Amira. Don't forget Amira.
And Zoe.
Never forget it.
And Zoe.
So
Yeah.
pretty psycho. And Michael Oku are going to be on the next show, which is excellent. And that wasn't the first announcement we got. Well, it wasn't the last because we already have Rampage Brown. And then, so after that, who did we have next? It was
Judas Gray
and
Leonardo Darwin.
and the
So I'm going to
greatest
sit back.
and the
I'm gonna sit
greatest
back.
mind in independent wrestling.
Here we go.
He is. He's the greatest mind in independent
No,
wrestling.
I just babyface.
He's amazing. Like every time I've seen him, he's completely different
Darwin.
and has me pissing myself. He's brilliant. I
right.
probably told him this far too much in the pub later on when we were having drinks. I bought him probably a pint, or probably bought him fucking loads as wrecked. And I was telling him that he is the fucking greatest mind in British wrestling. And he's like, thanks, I really appreciate that. And I demanded to know where I could buy his merch, and he has a fucking great T-shirt on Instagram that my missus is trying to get me for my birthday, which would be nice. And no, he's great. He's excellent. Everyone should look up Leonardo Darwin wrestling, matches, and just like the vignettes he does and everything. He's a fucking genius. The match was great. Judas played it perfectly as well in his kind of bewildered, why the fuck are you booing me? This guy's a fucking scumbag. He was looking up at us on the crowd. He's like, what the fuck have I done? And I was just like, sorry, mate.
Well, when he's there, who wants to see some more great high-flying action? We were in bits on the balcony. I couldn't cheer for laughing.
He was doing
I was
old
clinging
school.
onto the barricade.
Proper old school stuff, Brett, man. You should watch it. It was so good.
Yeah.
He's like, let's do some good old fashioned wrestling, guys. And he was
He's just getting booed out of the building, or
no, this guy was
No,
getting the
no, we
cheers.
were cheering.
Oh, all
This
right,
is
gotcha.
Darwin.
This is the guy that was. This is the guy that was. He was Kane from the Kane multiverse, and then he was Michael Kane from the same family, their other brother, and then he said, he spoke about cocaine in the last show, and then after he gets the win, he talked about how he's been promised by TNT. He wants some big names. They don't want to be feeding him people like Judas, who he described as a cross between Caitlyn Jenner and Headbanger Mosh. And
what the fuck, yo!
And then the screen comes on. Oh, this is amazing. We were pissing ourselves.
Man.
The screen comes on, and it's only fucking the JCW cocaine.
Jesus.
So at Summer Explosion, we've got fucking Darwin against cocaine. It's
Oh,
fucking
mate,
amazing.
honestly, I was.
Yo,
crying,
I got that fucking image in my head now. Holy shit!
Yeah, honestly, it's
Wow.
so good. Just go. It's on Triller Plus. Just go
Is it-
back and watch it. Honestly,
Watch
I'm
it,
gonna have to
but
check
then-
it out.
Watch it, but then watch Darwin's other matches from his debut when he it was Kane versus Blue Kane. Watch that, and you'll see his debut. And the guy on the mic is,
Yeah.
I think he's. I wouldn't say he's the best on the mic. He's definitely up there, but
oh, you mean
his-
Simon Hill or
his-
DJ?
no, I mean Darwin himself is on the mic. Is his creativity is just fucking off the charts. There's nobody close. I mean, like, we'll get on to who is probably one of the best in a bit, and Lucy will disagree. But then anyway, who did we have next? We had a tag match, I believe. Was it?
No, it was
Fuck,
the death match. It was the
Keep
women's
jumping ahead
death
to the
match.
tag match. I thought
It
the
was
tag. I thought,
the
yeah, I thought the tag match was before. So we had the death match.
Unification.
No, because
Was it?
Lana came out with the
Yeah.
Temple
Oh,
Allen
sorry, you're
with the
right.
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so,
anyway,
yeah.
we had a women's death match for the women's title, a unification
Yeah, it was the Unification.
between the Ignition title and the TNT. The Ignition title, Brett, you probably don't know, so I'll explain. It's the daytime show, have their own set of titles. You know, the two. You got Ignition, which is the kind of the PG show, and it was initially, Jay explained it to us when we spoke to him on the podcast, that initially it was the the show with the kind of newer talent and a lot of trainees involved and stuff. But he said slowly it's become equal in his mind, and it's like his Raw and SmackDown. That's the way he described it. One's one. I won't say which one's SmackDown because I wouldn't want to offend anyone. And yeah, so we had this death match, and yeah, they had a no contest last month, I think it was, or last show.
Yeah.
So
It was
then they
good.
said, let's do a
Great
death match.
Yeah.
And it was fucking incredible. It was brutal. It was so good.
Yeah, this for
Absolutely
me
phenomenal.
rivaled the Hollywood ending in terms of like best like took under sub 15-minute matches where it was just wall to wall excellence. It was like even
was
during the
absolute-
entrances, I was just
It
there
really
like
was.
I'm so in, I'm hooked.
It was amazing.
So Lucy Sky came out to Slipknot Custer, and then Session Goth, not Session Moth, came out to, because normally, Brett, for your case, normally she comes out to Every Time We Touch by Cascada, but as she was in her goth persona, she came out to The Cover by Electric Callboy, which I
very
thought was
clever,
a really
yeah.
good. It was a really good
Nice.
touch, I thought. And then it's like, because I was doing a tweet along for this, I was watching this and I was just tweeting, and I'm just sort of trying to be funny more often than not. But in this one, because there was a bit when Session Goth poured a bag of beer cans over Lucy Sky.
recycling all over.
Oh, I know. And I just said, this looks like the aftermath of Download Festival. And that got a few retweets.
Everybody up on the balcony, I heard someone next to me that wasn't even an outgroup go, oh, I'm telling Brian Danielson that
Oh God.
she's throwing her recycling all over
it was-
the, yeah.
It was so.
She's going to be putting her recycling.
It was
was
so,
so
good,
much
and Kevin. So I mean, Session Goth had a big stick with cans on it, and she's twatting with the cans. And I'd say the most. I mean, we had all sorts in there, from fucking glass, didn't we, to fucking
Light tubes.
fucking everything. Oh, the photographer, by the way, fucking reflexes of the Flash, man. One of the light tubes is rolling off, and as he's taking his pictures, he's like puts it back. Amazing, good work. And the most brutal spot, I think, was probably the half cut cans on the board.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a board.
Lucy, when she went onto the...
Yeah,
Go on.
there's a board, Brett, and it's basically got cans cut in half, all stuck to this board. And
Oh.
With the sharp side up.
Lucy took a
Fuck.
fucking-
That's aluminum. What the hell?
it's
No
just-
way.
She was wearing the white Lucy Deathmatch shirt. If you haven't seen them, they're amazing. And when she got up, you could see the blood in rings on her back.
Yeah.
I saw her later in the day. It was in the interval, so it was quite a while after, and I got a picture with her, and she still had the dried blood all over her face. I was like,
I
I
saw that picture. Yeah.
a poor dad was watching as well, man. You know, he was very proud. No, but it was excellent. We were watching somebody else on the side there watching it, whose heart was going quite quick. You could see the breathing was getting very fast. But no, it was excellent. It was a fantastic match. I would have another one. Like, if you're looking at you've not got time and you just want to whiz through some matches, it's very difficult from this one, to be honest. But you have to watch this. And it had, as I said to you earlier, the only cash-in I've ever really thought, wow, that's amazing. And it's because after all that, they're completely, both half dead on the floor. Lucy Sky's picked up the win. She's virtually fucking unconscious. And then Lana Austin comes out with a fucking briefcase that from the last event, the one she won, and decides she wants to cash it in now. And the way they did this was so clever, because she went for the pin straight away, and Lucy kicked out quite fucking quickly as well. And it was like, oh fuck,
It's
maybe
like a seed of doubt, isn't there?
yeah, maybe
she might get
maybe
it,
it's
yeah.
not going to happen. But then Lana hit the I forget what a move's called, but it's basically a spinning fucking punch, and she hits that better than anybody every time. It looks like it connects. It's so good, and yeah, she gets the win, and she's now the double champ, and it was incredible.
It was beautiful.
It really
It was
was.
amazing. I was so mad when she came out, because I adore Lucy Sky, but my God, when she won it, I was singing with everybody. I'm sorry, Lucy, I absolutely abandoned you at that point to sing with Lana. It was fantastic.
And then so after that, anyway, we had the interval, then we had the tag match, I believe. I'm writing this time, man. I've said this 4 times.
That was Temple of Malin,
Yes.
was it?
Yeah.
So we had-
Temple
yeah,
of Malin
that was
against,
unbelievable.
with
Temple-
Lana against Mills and Jay Joshua.
Yeah, it was a really solid match.
This was my match of the night, personally.
Hard hitting. Jay Joshua is fucking brilliant. I'm a huge fan of his. Connor Mills,
Yep.
we're all big fans of his. I think Isaac.
True grit.
I think Isaac North is he's not only a hell of a wrestler, but fuck me, he has one of the best fucking looks, most creepiest fucking looks I've ever seen. It's incredible. And when you see him outside of his makeup, he looks fucking normal. And Rob Drake. Rob Drake's brilliant, man. He's a fucking beast of a man.
Beast.
Seeing him at the weekend against Ethan Allen on Saturday, so that should be good.
Where's that at?
It's in Bootle. It's Infinite, and yeah, he's the brother of James Drake from Grizzled Young Vets. First time I seen Rob Drake was actually teaming up with.
Wait, is he?
Yeah.
he is.
First time I seen him was he was a mystery partner with
He just
Kenny
blew Lucy's
against
mind.
Grizzled Young Vets in Burning Heart. It was great, and I've been a big fan of his ever since. Really, really good fucking wrestler, and he's a fucking big guy as well. You know, he's got the look, hasn't he? Very intimidating.
He really does. This was definitely my match of the night. Like, I thought it was just so hard hitting. Like, I just said, like, it was just a good old school kind of tag team match. Like, they didn't really do anything like outlandish. There was just like, it was just one of those ones where you, for like the last like 6 minutes, you just didn't know where it was going to go, and then they just surprised you again. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
And out of this, we've got a rumor. We've got them talking about possibly Rob Drake and Jay Joshua in a singles match, which would be fucking great. And Connor Mills wants Michael Oku at the next event. So, you know, some great stuff coming out of this. Then we went on to the title match for the most prestigious title in wrestling, from the most legitimate world champion in all of wrestling, against Trent 777, and it was excellent. It was a really good match. Trent 777 is fucking phenomenal. The guy moves fucking so well. I think Tate Mayfair is one of the few wrestlers that has everything. I think there's nothing he doesn't have.
A wife.
Well, technically he does, but no, she's just not there, and he does. He's got every aspect of wrestling nailed down. Like he's incredible on the mic. He didn't break character all night. We seen him in the pub later on as well. He did not break character at all. You're talking to him saying, "How's it?" And he's like, "Yeah, the same as he was," and it's so impressive. Like, he's got that down to a T. Character wise, he's fucking incredible, and in ring, he's brilliant. He's so good with the way he tells a story in ring with his heel tactics, or maybe not so heel tactics, depending on what point in the match it is. And I'm a huge fan. I think he's incredible. I
really liked it. It was very, very good. This was the longest match of the night, but it was a superb world title match. Trent Seven is always gonna like bring it. Like he's in
fucking
this.
ace, isn't he?
Yeah, he's so great. I don't think I've seen a bad Trent Seven match live. I can't say that I have.
I don't think I have.
No.
He's excellent, and like I say, that match was great. Lucy did enjoy it because it was Tate Mayfair's, but it was excellent. It really was, and straight from here, he went to try and find his wife to be. I've seen the video, and she wasn't there, so he's walking around Liverpool, the poor fella, trying to find her. Why he's trying to find her on a hen night, I don't know, but whatever.
Oh, it's just because he couldn't get a hold of her, so he wants to make sure that she's all right for the big day that they had on yesterday. And
then, so we had the main events anyway.
We'll come to that.
Another one of my favourite wrestlers in the entire world. Well, to be fair, both of them are. Emerson is like, she's like been a lot of other places now. We went crazy when she turned up in Rev Pro in Doncaster. But I think Drew Parker is the most underbooked wrestler in the UK. It's insane. The guy's so fucking good, to the point where like I suggested, didn't I, that someone should book like us Drew Parker, and Attack Pro Wrestling did it. So we're going to go down to that at the end of July. So that should be cool. Get to see Lycos and Drew for the first time. I
also like to think my input was because I was wearing the neck deep shirt when I think you suggested that Lycos.
You can have that, yeah.
Because he's got the
shared credit.
If we were together, we'd do a "you son of a bitch" Outrunners handshake. Which is the Outrunners not Predator now. And so it was supposed to be Ricky Shane Page, but unfortunately due to injury he couldn't turn up. And so Drew Parker stepped up to the challenge. Having been beaten by Emerson last time, for I think it was the fourth match, was it?
Something like that. I think it was either the third or the fourth.
I think the 2-2 now,
Yeah, this was the one where they drew a line under it because they showed respect at the end. And
I told you guys though beforehand, my dream scenario for this fantasy booking wise, a bit fucking stupid, but I would have loved it. Would have been Ricky Shane Page to be winning if he had, he was able to turn up, and for Drew to interfere and help her because of the wars they've been through and the mutual respect now. But obviously that couldn't happen, so now we had this, and it was a fucking brutal match. Didn't feel too long.
It was only about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was very last minute, obviously, because of the injury. And the two of them were a fucking mess. I like I say, when you see some of the stuff that Emerson Jane does, it's fucking ridiculous. You know, she was fucking somersaulting over the fucking ropes with a fucking dart hanging out of her cheek, and it's like, yeah, they did light tubes, glass spots, fucking powerbomb through a table, fucking, yeah, it was just, it was great.
That dart.
Yeah, fuck it, it was
Fucking dart.
Absolutely insane.
they're great, and it's,
Every time Ethan Page is like, this is like, no, you don't know. No.
I, as soon as this was finished, I pegged it over to the table to get a picture with the two of them, and like, yeah, no, it was great. They're amazing, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Whether it's a Ricky Shane Page, Emerson Jane match, or whether, as has been speculated, they maybe tag together at some point, which would be amazing. And it capped off a great show. I fucking love TNT, man. The shows they put on are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're becoming one of my favourites. This was only my second show ever. Absolutely fantastic. I'm a fan for life now.
I will make a show at some point. I was a bit gutted to
You
find
have
out.
to.
Well, I was a bit gutted to find, because I would, in a heartbeat, I would go to the July show, but I'm double booked, unfortunately, because I'm playing a gig. But
There's a big one happening in September
well, this is it.
Weekender.
So I'm the Weekender in September. I'm booking myself
that
in
we
for
need
that.
to be at.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have to be there.
So no, it was great, and
Whenever.
we went over to the pub afterwards. A couple of the wrestlers were out drinking. Yeah, obviously you had to go. And that's when I was getting very drunk. A couple of people bought me some drinks because it's my birthday coming up, and
Yeah, I just left them with the advice: please don't end up on the news.
well, it didn't
Gotta
do that.
celebrate,
But
man.
yeah, like I
People
said,
thought it was
I think
good.
I just annoyed Darwin a little bit too much. I kept offering to buy Trent a drink as well, and he kept telling me, "No, I'm all right, thanks." And I was like, "Would you sure?" And I asked him again a few minutes later, but no, it was great. I can't wait for fucking July now. I'm so hyped for July. It was great, brilliant. Can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Tate Mayfair's was running around
Yeah.
Liverpool trying to
So that
fun
was
sponge Tate Mayfair's, trying to ruin his lady's fun. Well, it all worked out.
He just
Well,
wanted to make
yeah.
sure she was all right. Fucking hell.
apparently.
Those dishes aren't going to wash themselves. What's he going to fucking do? He just wanted her to learn how to cook.
Well, she fucking cooked.
She
By the way,
cooked
people,
all right.
Any of you saw Riot Cabaret?
That's what he said, by the way. That wasn't me saying that.
It's what he said. He was like, you need to clean my clothes. You need to... I was like, no, Martina, come to me. I'm a wrestling fan. I don't need clean clothes. God. You don't need to cook. We can eat spaghetti hoops cold out the tin like nature intended. And obviously it worked. I told her I'd be waiting for her in Magaluf on the beach with the Jaeger bombs and a half-melted Solero. And finally she saw the light. And in fact, because I feel guilty about potentially stealing his woman away, I am wearing the t-shirt of, according to Tate himself, the greatest professional wrestler ever to walk planet Earth. You're not going to get it in a chant, but yeah. So anyone that saw Riot Cabaret,
Yep.
saw the wedding, Simon Miller officiating, did his best, but it was a wrestling wedding.
Did you? Yeah, it was one of those ones
Crap
where
rocked up.
his famous last words, wasn't it? He says that it was nice to see a wrestling event not end in, unless a wrestling wedding not end in absolute like shenanigans. But did you see the outfit
then,
that
cool.
Simon Miller was wearing with the sleeveless,
The cut off
the sleeveless,
sleeve.
the
Simon
the
Miller's
shirt.
biceps upstage carrying a
smart-
Tatey Poo's wedding.
But the smart chinos and the Jordans or like the Air Maxes or whatever, it
And
was
his little
phenomenal.
tops.
It was absolutely.
I seen.
Incredible.
Did you see the clip of him of Tate talking to Michael Oku? Tell him to go and get a drink from the bar. He's going to him. Oh yeah, he's go and get a drink, man. Go at the bar, and then he walks off, going, oh, "I haven't paid for the bar."
Such a shit. He is absolutely the worst human being
amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
on the planet. He is
genuinely.
Satan. And ladies, he's single. So
Well, no, he's not. He's married. He just doesn't have the wife. He's technically
if
married.
you've
He
got
has
a George
to go.
Foreman grill, a washing machine, and no
He's got to go through the
self-respect,
registry items
shoot
now.
your shot.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a wife. He's got the TNT World Championship. He'll just fucking carry that around forever.
He's
He spoons that at night.
He doesn't have a wife.
Absolutely.
He doesn't
So
have a
should he?
wife, but he's still got the petition. He's still got that petition. That's what he needs to dedicate all of his focus onto now to get over this heartbreak. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I think, I agree with Andy. I think that he is genuinely. I don't know anybody who is as committed to him in terms of like his character work next to like MJF.
Yeah.
I cannot. And
That
Hangman,
is-
he is phenomenal.
That is
at
my
what he
dream
does.
match, actually. Forbidden Door.
MJF versus Tate Mayfair.
MJF.
Do it
And if Tate,
in a heartbeat.
If Tate win, no, I want a stipulation. Knock off counterfeit cheap ass scarf on a pole match, and if Tate wins, he gets his gimmick back.
I
That's
I-
the stipulation.
I think what they should
I love MJF, but
what they should do is
there are some similarities.
they should wrestle for the TNT title on Forbidden Door, and MJF.
Which one?
Yeah, but like, well, MJF.
No, I bitch about Tate Mayfair's, but at no point should he be losing to MJF. In fact,
MJF
the reason I want it is
could get his revenge.
Go
He
on.
could get his revenge on Jay, because he's. I don't know if I should be saying
Yeah.
this. MJF did send Jay a message, like getting about like I can't remember where he's shown us the message. He sent him a message asking if he could come to be on one of his shows, like about a year or two before AEW, and Jay just left it on unread. He was like, whatever. MJF could be, fumbled, but he could be getting he could get his revenge. He could take that title anywhere he wants.
The reason I want the match is because I genuinely believe, given 3 minutes and a live microphone, Tate Mayfair could make MJF cry. I really believe he could leave him in tears because he's such a fucking obnoxious.
It would be a good one, Brett. You have to watch it, man. You have to watch this on Triller, and you see what we're talking about, man.
I'll definitely give it a try.
Yeah, there is nobody in wrestling more of a gobby bitch than Tate Mayfair. He's more irritating than eczema. He's incredible.
Like, yeah,
He's like a sweat rash that won't go away.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, absolutely. Prickly heat. Didn't do it for Marty.
I need to get some sleep. I'm so
All
fucking
right.
tired.
Wait, before we go, no.
Yeah.
No. There's one more thing that we haven't
Well,
talked
I
about.
was actually going to say before we go, like, what are you up to? Like, what
All right.
what kind of wrestling have you got lined up that you're looking forward to over the next week? For me, I'm going to
No.
I'm going to Infinite. Very, very excited.
No. We talked about Eve. That's fine. I want to talk about mystery wrestling.
Oh, fuck yes.
That was
I
on.
forgot about that. Yes. It's been that big a week.
Simon Miller was wrestling fucking Sasquatch. Evil Uno bullying Simon Miller, booking the Bald King against the world's hairiest wrestler, the Sasquatch.
Kevin Nash.
Honestly, it feels like a bit of a microaggression. I'm not sure how my bald friends feel about this. But yeah, Simon Miller against Sasquatch. That was magnificent. But on the same show as Simon Miller, we had the man himself, Brandon Cutler, in full dragon gear, fighting Ortiz. It was absolutely phenomenal. I will die on the hill that Brandon Cutler is a legitimately excellent wrestler.
He actually
I didn't
is a
just
good wrestler.
fall in love because he can find another use for a D12. It's because he's actually really, really good. As much as I wanted him to be wrestling Simon, that is my dream match. The fact that they were on the same show. Evil Uno, I will name my firstborn child after you. If you ever need a kidney, I know where to find like 3 spare, honestly. The Booker of the Year, Evil Uno, without question. Hang on. I have a list of some of Brandon's greatest qualities. I have 12 of these pages, okay? We are going to start by talking about his amazing new gear. And have you heard his theme music? He's back to the old one. But yeah, the gear, it's blue instead of the red. He's got the face paint on, so I'm gonna have to master that, because do I keep this? That is the question. But yeah, he has finally gotten rid of this tracksuit, which is good as it looks on me. It does nothing for him. And Andy's gone as well. I think we should cut it there. He's left in protest. Everyone has gone. Now, as long as there is anyone left, we are going to talk about Brandon Cutler until you have all gone. All right.